This is Oliver Thornton with Scott Hartman, SOC at the Indiana Academy. Today is April 4th, 2012. This is going to be an informal interview, so you have no need to feel nervous.
Okay.
All right. First question I would like to ask, what prompted you to become an SOC?
Well, I first heard about the Academy through some friends that worked at a summer camp that I was also working at. And so through them and through their recommendations and encouragement, I thought it would be a good use of time and my talents. And I think it has been a positive experience, and it has proven to be a good use of both those things.
What would you say is the best thing about being an SOC?
I really enjoy all the informal interactions I get to have with the students, whether it's just chatting about their weekend or kind of them decompressing their week, or just playing video games, or things like open gym and things like that are really just simple and fun times that we get to help provide as part of their daily activities. That I think is the most fun. Maybe not the most rewarding part of the job, but probably one of the most fun parts.
How long have you been an SOC?
This is my 6th semester, so I'm finishing my 3rd year as being an SLC.
And can you please describe the roles of an SOC?
Yes, and it's somewhat involved, as our roles are kind of described as needed, whatever arises. But they generally include things such as parent contacts, keeping parents informed as to what's going on around the academy, whether it's keeping them updated on disciplinary things or grade things with their student, or even social things going on with their students, good, positive, and also negative things going on. We also track the progress academically and residentially of the students and file reports, quarterly reports for those. We also do a great deal of programming, educational and social programming around the building, as well as just giving them things to do in and out of the building. Like I said, with open gyms or ultimate frisbee or video game type tournaments, we try and keep them busy so that they stay out of trouble in that respect. We handle all the check-ins and a lot of the desk work, front desk work, and we work with the students a lot to provide some of that programming where they're able to bring ideas to us and have programming implemented that is either powered by them or fueled by them, or directly interests them in a friend group.
What are the requirements for becoming an SOC?
Well, the kind of hard requirements are that you need a collegiate degree, but some sort of informal requirements are needing to be able to interact well with the age group. You need to be very organized, or learn to be organized, which I had to do. You need to be able to be fluid in a lot of ways, where you might have your day planned out, 1, 2, 3 items, and then none of those get done because X, Y, and Z issues come up with students or around the building. So I think that that's an important trait of an SLC. Just kind of generally being positive and in a good mood when I'm having a cruddy day. I try not to pass that on to any of the students in the hall. I try and give that same pleasant demeanor regardless of how my day's going, so I think that's a good thing too. But the steadfast requirement is to have that degree and to be willing to live in and be available 24/7 at some points.
From my understanding, I know that SOCs go through training at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that entail?
It's 2 weeks before any students come, and it's kind of a lot of fun mixed with a lot of sitting and listening. We have a lot of sessions where we're sitting and listening to someone talk about this is how we do card check, or this is how we do check-ins, or this is how the floors operate. But there are also other sessions where we're learning through interaction and role-playing, which can be more fun. And then even more so on the fun side, we take trips. There's a canoeing trip that we take, and general team building things. We go to Taylor's rope course, which is a lot of fun. Do a lot of problem solving and team building there. So it's a long 2 weeks and an intense 2 weeks, but there's enough fun and activity mixed in that it isn't too boring. I actually look forward to training the last couple years. So yeah, there's a lot of that. We kind of get our first taste of programming. We do programming for the other SLCs as if we would for students. And we really do a lot of team building, getting to know each other, as the job has somewhat high turnover. I think the average stay is 2 or 3 years for an SLC. So it's likely that we're at least integrating some new people into the fold every year. And so a lot of that team building goes on during the first 2 weeks of training.
What made you come back each year?
Well, at first I came back just because I was thoroughly enjoying the job, and I loved living and working with the students. And now, though I still have that love for the job, I'm also pursuing a master's degree, and so that's kind of an added benefit, that I'm taking classes while working, and I'm fortunate enough to be at a place where I can do that, and where my supervisors are supportive of that, and I also have the time and the resources to be able to be successful there as well.
All right. How would you say, how easy is it to get along with your coworkers?
I think that it's pretty easy for the most part, because though we're all very different, we're all like-minded in the sense that we've agreed to do this crazy job. So I think in that way we've been connected. But living and working with the same people all the time, obviously some conflicts arise. And again, back to training, we do a lot of training on how to address those conflicts, avoid those conflicts, and have successful solutions to those conflicts. Generally, it's if a conflict does arise, it's very small and sometimes even petty, but because we are surrounded with each other so often, that that can sometimes be enough to rub someone the wrong way. But the conflicts are always, everyone always has the best intentions, so usually once we talk it out, it's very smoothed over, and things don't have, at least I've never had a lasting confrontation with somebody that I didn't get along with.
What would you say is the biggest downfall about your job?
It is difficult living where you work. I would imagine, even if I was a cashier at a supermarket, but I had to live in that supermarket, that would be very difficult. Or live in an apartment, right above the supermarket. And part of that includes just if I'm doing laundry, or if I'm walking to the store to get milk, I'm going to pass not only students that I know, but also faculty and other administration. So I don't really ever feel removed from the job. I'm kind of, even when I'm off, I always have that, like I talked about, always putting on that happy face in the hallways. I always feel like I'm on not display, but on kind of turned on, switched on, as far as how I'm carrying myself and interacting with people, because I constantly run into people. And even in the summertime, if I'm, I've seen students in some really random places, baseball games in Cincinnati and things like that. So you're always bumping into people, and so I think that's a tough part of the job for me.
What is one thing that you would change to make the academy a better place? Or add?
Mm-hmm. I think that the arts program at the academy is lacking. there's so much emphasis put on academic acceleration and academic success that we sometimes forget that with the gifted and talented student body, they are often also very gifted and talented in either music or visual arts or things such as that. So I think that's one aspect where I know at least I try to emphasize with my programming, but I know Burris and even Ball State classes are sometimes not enough for those students, of an outlet for those students.
Do you have any extra questions, comments, or concerns regarding the academy?
Well, I think that the academy is a really, really great place and probably a maybe not an underappreciated place, but an under publicized place. I did 4 years of undergraduate work at Ball State and never knew what the academy was. I hope that's not maybe the case now, but maybe it still is. You know, there's students that can go to school here 4 years and never even be aware of the academy. But it seems like the more I talk with people about what I do, the more I meet people that at least have an idea of what it is or have heard of it. So that's my hope, that the academy is becoming better well known, and it seems that it is with things such as our application numbers being up and our average SATs going up because application numbers are going up and all those things. So it seems like the word is getting out there more and more, but it still seems to be a slow process.
That reminds me, where do you see yourself about 10 years from now? And do you think the academy has helped you with that?
Oh, I one of the things the academy has helped me with is kind of realizing a lot about myself, and one of those things is that I will probably never know where I'll be or even want to be 10 years from now. But the academy has helped me with a lot of professional qualities, helped me develop a lot of my professional qualities, where, you know, before I was maybe not as organized as I am now, at least professionally, not as professional as I needed to be in certain situations. And it was one of my first professional jobs, so I think that that's helped me a lot, just in knowing what employers expect and what I need to expect of myself to meet their expectations. So while I don't know where I might be in 10 years, I hope it involves something interesting, something a little out of the ordinary, and some travel.
If you don't have any other extra questions or comments, I guess we can conclude this interview.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thanks.
Oliver.
Scott.